Hi everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I am here with Kim Dorste, who is a pattern camper with a very exciting story to share. So I'm so glad you're here with me. Thank you so much, Kim. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can we start off by can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, kind of your creative background or your work background? Yeah, tell us about yourself.
Sure, I have a lot of both. I'm an artist. I went to school and majored in printmaking, and but I have not worked as a full-time artist, probably really ever.
Until now.
Right. But I did sold paintings before, and I got my degree. I should say I got my art degree late in life. I first went to school for business and just hated it. And then my boyfriend at the time, now husband, graduated and got married and started a family and all that. And
Yeah.
then when my kids got a little older, I went back to school and got my art degree.
Cool.
But then, kids went to college, and we moved to Colorado from St. Louis, so I've been working full time for the past 8 years. So finally, we bought a house, and our kids are almost finished with college, and we decided it was probably a good time for me to start my art career.
Nice.
But hey, it's better late than never.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So tell us about what you're up to now, because I think it was at the beginning of this year, right, that you quit your job.
Yes.
And dove in. February, that's right.
Yep. Lots of everything, mostly making patterns, but also, a lot of art and a lot of research and a lot of reading books. But I have to say, you have wonderful help for everyone out there. You have great books to read. They've made a huge difference. I have an accountability partner.
Oh, good.
Die with that. She's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to make my way. Find my way and plug at it every single day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I remember, I think no matter what age you are and where you start, that's kind of how you begin. I remember that from when I was starting too, when I thought, okay, I see this pattern design thing that people are doing, and it's, tugging at my soul, and I want to do that, but I have no idea how to start. So that's where I went. Books, Google. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I actually found you because I bought some rain boots.
Cool.
Because it was raining here, crazy raining for 2 weeks, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have no rain boots. I'm ruining all my shoes. So I found your rain boots online, and then when I got them, you had this cute little card saying I come up in Boulder, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I love her art, and I didn't know you made art at the time.
Yeah.
Then checked out your website and found all this great stuff.
Oh.
It's been wonderful.
Well, thanks. I love knowing that.
Yeah, actually not knowing where to start at all, and it just helped me a lot.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. That's so great. Yeah, so what have you found to be helpful so far? Do you have any specific books or websites that you've come across that, because I have a feeling that a lot of people who are watching this interview and the other interviews that we've done with pattern campers, may have a dream of quitting a job that they don't love and being a creative person full time, or being a pattern designer, or selling their work online, or whatever it is. So do you have any?
I kind of stumbled upon you. I probably would have taken a more traditional route of trying to do paintings and get in galleries and things like that, but I never really felt that kind of thing was for me. It's I don't know, it's just kind of weird and outside of what I am as a person. I don't know. I kind of just stumbled upon you, and I saw the pattern camp, and I had been toying with the idea of going back to school for graphic design. Because it's something that, you can make a living at.
Yeah.
But then I saw pattern camp, and I kind of decided that probably would be a better option for me, because it felt like you could be, not that you can't be creative as a graphic designer working, in a job, but it felt like I could be more creative, which is what.
Yeah, well, I think it's different. I think graphic design and surface design are related for sure, but with graphic design, a lot of the time you're problem solving for other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah, I did some graphic design work for a while too, and while it was fun and interesting, I knew kind of all along, this isn't really for me. I need to be fueled by my own ideas, not by what other people want me to do. So it sounds like you're in a similar position.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I had another question and it just left my mind. Oh, that's so annoying when that happens.
No, it happens all the time.
Happens all the time. All the time. So tell us about your pattern making so far. Do you have any, what's opened up for you since you've learned how to do this? Where do you envision taking these new skills?
Well, I'm hoping that I can make a living doing this, but I'm just in the moment enjoying it, honestly. And it feels like I've come so far, you know?
You have. Oh my gosh. Your patterns are just getting more and more and more gorgeous. I especially love the ones that you posted. I guess it was just a few days ago. You know, when this interview goes up, it will not have, it won't be just a few days ago anymore. But your kind of folksy, sunflowery patterns, that I love them so much.
You know, whatever though. I'm not usually like folksy kind of, but you know, well, I went to Mexico and I fell in love with the tiles and the pottery that they had there. So I came back and I did the thing that you're doing with the animals. I thought that's a good idea to, you know, get you motivated to make it every single day. And I decided I was going to make design a new tile every day. For like a month. Cool. And it was so hard. I would wake up every morning, like the first few days, it was great, you know, it's awesome. And then like the fourth or fifth day, I'm like,
I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. Isn't it funny how you can start out so excited about something and then just start sabotaging yourself almost immediately?
Right. But then I would just sit down and just start, you know, I used the same size square. And if it was just like, all right, I'm just going to draw a grid. I'll draw 2 lines and that will be the start. And then it just went from there. And it turned out that like every day that I did it, that I didn't think I even wanted to do it, I would come up with something that I liked even better than the day.
Yeah. You know, that, I feel like there is just a magical gem of wisdom in what you just said. Several magical gems. Number 1, you said just start. I just sat down and I just started even when I didn't want to. And that has been something that has been so useful to me for years and years and years. That's the only way some days that I'll get anything done, is because if I waited until I was magically inspired every time I needed to create something, like, it would never happen. I mean, maybe sometimes it would happen, but usually it wouldn't happen. I would just be waiting forever. So I think that is a really profound and simple yet not simple practice that people can implement to make a huge difference.
Yes.
And also what you said about sitting down and not having a plan and just drawing 2 lines or whatever and just starting something and seeing where it goes. That's also the way that I tend to sit down and work. I don't really ever have a plan. And I surprise myself all the time by just sitting down and starting something.
Yeah.
So that's
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I know not everybody works that way. A lot of people need to have, you know, an idea, a concrete idea, colors picked out, whatever, you know, whatever makes them feel comfortable. But yeah, for me, it's just the act of, okay, sitting down, pencil to paper, paintbrush to canvas, whatever it is. Yeah.
Happens. And it's just...
Yeah. So I'm curious. So you've been at this now for, let's see, it's June now. So 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah, I think the first one was January.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So what's your, do you have a plan for how do you want to, what do you want to do? What do you want to see these patterns turn into? And if, I don't expect you to have, you know, concrete answers either. I'm just curious what your vision is.
You know, I love doing this. It's, you know, I get up every morning.
It's addictive, right?
It is. And my husband comes home at 6:30 and goes, "Can we eat?" Wait a minute.
Like, sorry, I'm busy.
Yes, exactly. So what really kind of drew me to Pattern Camp in the first place is that it seems like it's more, you make things that are more accessible and more useful and functional for people. And so I love that, and I would just like to be able to, you know, do that, create things that people can use every day. And, you know, I paint, you know, I paint and do prints and things like that, but I feel like you know, it's a lot of, I love the work, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of times things that people like, but it's not maybe accessible.
Yeah.
And so the idea of making things that are useful and accessible and make people feel good every day.
Yeah.
Just when they pick up their phone and go, oh, I love that phone case. I'm so
Yeah.
phone case.
Well, and you know what's funny too, that I've heard from a lot of people who have just started making patterns is that it's kind of easy to overlook all of the patterns that are in your life or in your home or, out in the world every day until you start making them yourself. And then you're just looking for patterns everywhere and you see patterns everywhere. So while it is this simple thing that we're creating, it's a decorative pattern. Like it's pretty but it's so much more than that. Like our world would be so boring without all of these decorative patterns that color everything. So we actually are doing really important work here, I think.
I feel that way. I feel more so in, something that's used every day than a painting someone will hang on their wall or something that's in a museum. That feels more like me. I think. That's kind of where I would like to go with it. I would like to make things that are useful for people and make people happy every day.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's such good motivation. So tell me a little bit about what it's been like for you just going through this process, because I know you didn't have a lot of experience with Photoshop or Illustrator, which is scary for people signing up. Like, is this for me? Am I going to be in over my head? Am I too old for this? Is everyone else going to be younger than me and they've grown up with computers and they just know this stuff? Like, there are lots of things that we can tell ourselves that will stop us from diving into something that's brand new. So you did dive into many brand new things. So bravo, first of all. But yeah, just what has that been? What's it been like, and what struggles have you run into, and how did you push through them, or how are you currently pushing through them?
Yes, still every day. But, well, I will tell you the first pattern cramp class that I took, after about 3 hours on Saturday.
Were you crying?
Oh my gosh, I went upstairs and I went, all right, I'm done. We need to all go get a beer. I was like, yay. But it took me a really long time because I was so new that I had no idea. I would watch the videos and, I would be writing my notes and then I would stop it like every 3 seconds. I would stop it and then I would rewatch it like 10 times and I'd watch every little thing you were doing on the screen and going, oh my God, what did you do? I didn't see that. It was blurry for a minute. So it took me probably about a month to get through just the basic.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it's done. This is a little bit about how this program works. That is the program. And then it was probably a month before I could even do the weekly pattern challenge, which I love, look forward to so much now. A month before I even could do anything. And then, I would just struggle with it. Just every little thing seemed like, what did I do wrong now? How am I going to do the fix it? I don't know anything about this, but the Facebook group was wonderful. You've been wonderful at answering my questions. And sometimes, if it takes a little while to get an answer, that's probably a good thing because you walk away from it for a minute and get your sanity back.
Come back with fresh eyes and be like, oh, I didn't try this before.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And then, as it went on, the first time I was able to participate, I was so excited. And then, every week I would participate and then I would try to do a little bit on the side. And like this week, I'm on my 4th pattern.
It's amazing. And just to put it in a little bit of perspective for you too, when I was learning how to do this stuff, it took me way longer than a month. So you are killing it.
Well, you probably didn't have somebody showing you how to do it either.
I didn't. That's true. But still, it took me way longer than a month. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. You're doing a really great job. So I hope that you realize that.
It's easy now. I mean, it's just so much fun. It's easy.
It's funny when you get to that magical moment where it all just kind of clicks and it works for the first time and you're like, wait a minute, I just did it. wait, it works, it repeats, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's just such a good feeling. And then it's just, it lives here after that. It's like learning to ride a bike almost, you know, you're never going to forget how to ride a bike. I know that's kind of cliche, but that's kind of the way that it is.
Yeah, so the first time, like, I had 4 notepads full of notes, and the first time that I didn't have to go, which one is it in, and go like, okay, now I do this, now I do that, now I
yeah, now you just do it.
Yeah.
I know, and yeah, I think it's hard to see that when you're at the beginning. It's hard to, I mean, it's because it's so unknown. You can't really picture what's on the other side, and it just feels almost insurmountable.
Yeah.
So what did you find helpful just pushing through those moments where you were like, this sucks, I hate this, and I'm quitting, and I'm just going to go get a beer because this is never going to make sense?
Yeah. I don't ever think I said it sucks, because it's part of the creative process, and that's always fun.
Yeah.
But, I refused to give up. I just refused to give up. I just kept doing it. I just kept thinking, you know, I'm going to do this. And I mean, I never even scanned anything before, so just... luckily, little things were, you know, like big.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I scanned something and it actually worked.
Yeah. So, like, give yourself credit for all those little successes along the way. Mm-hmm. Well, and not even little successes, big successes. Yeah.
Yeah, and just, you know, the group has been really helpful whenever you have a question about something. Like when we did the ECAT.
Yeah.
I had no idea how you did the settings, and someone gave me like the specific settings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, well, there it is.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite parts about Pattern Camp, because I knew that it would be fun to create a group where everybody could communicate and, you know, see what everyone is working on. But it's just become this kind of tight-knit family that I didn't really anticipate when I was creating this course. So I love when, you know, like if I'm out of town or if I'm occupied with the baby, which happens every day, and, you know, just haven't been in the group for a little while, it's so cool to go in and see everyone answering each other's questions and encouraging each other and sharing information. And I'm just, I'm so glad that that's been helpful to you, because I know that I do my best to get to answer everybody's questions in a timely manner, but it doesn't always happen.
I can't imagine that ever, no. But also, the Facebook group, it's great because in the studio, one of the hardest things for me transitioning from my full-time job, which was a retail manager of a spice store, to working in my studio all day it's solitude. I don't see a single person, so it's so nice to have a Facebook group that they're going through the same things you're going through. You can talk, and you can, you know, like, oh, I know that happened to me, and it's just, like, I don't know what I'd do without it, because like, at this point I feel like guilty. And I love I just absolutely love what I'm doing, but I also feel really guilty if I'm not creating.
Right.
Because I'm at the beginning, you know, and I know that I have to make so much work to even be able to put things out there. So it's been a lifesaver for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great to hear. And also, it seems like there's never really a quiet time in there. Like, there's always somebody in there posting something. Yeah. And I guess that's the advantage of it being on Facebook, because people are just on Facebook all the time, and you get all the notifications and everything, you know, when people are posting stuff. But yeah, it just seems like not much time passes between when somebody posts something and there are comments or answers to the question or likes or whatever. It's very active all the time.
Lots of feedback.
Yeah. And I think many people are in that same situation of working alone and, you know, wanting to get feedback, but not, you know, maybe their husband or partner or whatever is just doesn't quite get it, which is really common. You know, my husband is the same way. He is not a creative person in this way at all. And he, you know, I'll show him something and he'll say, yeah, it's nice, but it's not like,
I know.
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. So it's amazing, to have people where you can actually say, hey, I need some feedback, or like, I need some help with this, and actually get the help that you want or need. Yeah. So I'm curious if there have been, or what surprises there have been along the way for you so far? What's surprised you the most?
The biggest surprise, and this is so awesome, is that I thought, and when I decided to do this, that this is going to be like a drain. I'm going to have to put everything else that I do art-wise aside and just really concentrate on this and nothing else. And I got worried and scared because, I'm trying to start like a business.
Yeah.
And I need to have things that I can, sell, material things I can sell.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that this has really helped me even be more productive. So how it's integrated with the rest of the art that I make has been amazing. I didn't expect that, and it really has been helpful. Like I get up in the morning and I was doing the tile, so that got kind of the creative juices flowing, and then I would make a pattern, and making a pattern would be really quick. Mm-hmm. And then I would be like, okay, I'm in that mode.
Yeah.
Transition to like painting, and then go back and work on a pattern some more. And then I found that I was making a sketch and making it into a pattern, and making a pattern into a painting. And
cool.
It was awesome. I didn't expect that at all, and it's been such a pleasant surprise.
Oh, that's so cool. And I love hearing that, especially because when I first started making patterns, I was a painter before that, and for quite some time I couldn't really see how those two things related for myself.
Yes.
They seemed really different to me until I was exhibiting at Surtex for the first time. I think it was 2010. And my friend Christian came into my booth and she said, "Where are all your paintings?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She was like, "None of your paintings are here. This is just only patterns. Like, you're missing this whole side of you and your creative self." And I was like, oh my God, it all comes from me. Like, it's all related. So I love hearing that you're just doing that from the beginning. It's all influencing each other, and you see already that it's just all connected. So that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so great. So what can we look forward to seeing from you next? Do you have any exciting things that you're working on specifically that you want to share with us, or what's next? What's coming?
I think I'm just at the point where I'm trying to make coordinates for, patterns that I've created and come up with the things. And, I hope to have a website, a real website, a commerce website.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm just like have Instagram, and I have a business Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
That I just like a couple weeks ago put up. So I feel like I have a really hard time like promoting myself and talking about myself. So I feel like I don't want to put all this stuff out there and inundate my friends with this artwork. Well,
you're going to have to get over that real quick. No.
Tell me, because I got your book, here, The Declaration of You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was doing great until I got to the page where it says to, like, ask someone who admires you very much to fill out this thing. And
you're like, nope, not doing that.
I haven't gotten, I kind of put it aside and went, I'll deal with this some other time.
That's great. That really means that you need to do it. When you're like, no, I'm not doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
I to like my daughter or somebody who doesn't have a choice.
Well, I guess I would maybe encourage you to consider that somebody in your life who loves you and cares about you might really love doing that for you.
Yeah, that's true.
But I know that kind of stuff is really uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
I know. And as far as promoting yourself goes, I think the key is just finding a way that feels really authentic for yourself, which, you're gonna figure that out as you go along. I know that's a really vague piece of advice, but yeah, I mean, and just keep your eye on how other people are promoting what they're doing, and when something catches your attention, ask yourself why. Like, what is it that's resonating with me about how this person is communicating? Yeah. And how could I communicate about my work in a similar way? I don't know, that might be helpful, because I know it feels kind of yucky to be like, hey, friends and family, come buy my stuff. Come like my page.
It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah. But what am I trying to say? People want to support you. So
very lucky. I have lots of great friends and family. You know, but to make a living, you have to go outside of that. So it's something that I'm definitely going to be working on.
Yeah.
And blogging, oh, God.
You know, that's another thing. If you don't want to blog, don't blog. If you don't want to be on Instagram, don't be on Instagram. If you don't want to dive into Pinterest, don't do it. Like, you don't have to do all the stuff to be successful, you know? Right. So just keep that in mind, too. There's a lot of stuff floating around out there, and it's easy to feel like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. So-and-so is doing this, and I'm not doing that. What's wrong with me? And I mean, I get sucked into that kind of stuff all the time, just comparing myself to what everyone else is doing. And it's just...
Right. Well, they're successful, so I need to do that.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden you have this whole, like, buffet of 50 different things that you should be doing that, you know, that's just going to be energy going in all these different directions that you may not even want to send your energy. So...
Right.
So yeah, just, I don't know, try to tune into, you know, what does Kim want to do for Kim?
That's a tough one to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, that's not an easy question. Yeah, it's not an easy question, but I think if you can try to keep coming back to that. And I'm talking to you and talking to myself at the same time, by the way. If I can keep coming back to that, what do I want? What do I need right now? How do I want to do this?
So basically, I know what I want. I want to be able to make a living doing something I love. It's figuring out how.
Yeah. Just keep doing the next thing that feels right. And then the next thing that feels right. And then all of a sudden, a year from now, 5 years from now, a month from now, you're going to look back and think, wow, I've really, I've done a lot and I've made this happen and I've learned a ton.
Yes.
That's one thing that I think for myself I don't do often enough probably is look back and see, wow, when I started out, I had these dreams and I wanted to do this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. And I've done those things. And, you know, now I have different bigger dreams that are like, oh, I want to do this, this, and this. And it's really easy to just keep looking at that next thing and feeling like, oh, I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
Instead, while also looking back and thinking and seeing how far you've come.
Yes.
So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going off on tangents now. So I guess before we end our conversation, I'm just curious if you have any little tidbits that you might want to share with anybody who may want to, you know, either dive into pattern camp if this is something that they're interested in as a career or a hobby, or, you know, just learning for whatever reason, or not even just pattern camp, but just something that they may be afraid to do that they've wanted to learn how to do for a long time and are just scared, you know, just kind of a general. Do you have anything that you can share with people who may be afraid?
You know, you just have to do it. You just have to. It's funny that, you know, people are afraid of the weirdest things. I'm more afraid of computers and, you know, failure than I am of skiing down a double black diamond road.
That seems terrifying.
Not as bad. I don't know. Not as bad as a computer to me.
Yeah.
But you just have to try it and, you know, be persistent. If it's something you really want, it'll happen. Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Yeah. So good. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I love just hearing more about what you're up to and knowing more about your story and your journey and your persistence. And I'm just so excited to see what happens.
Me too.
Thank you. Yeah.
You've been a big part of it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to know that.
This up, you'll be wondering when I'm going to leave the Facebook group because you're sick of me.
No, that's never going to happen, because I hope that the Facebook group never goes away and that everyone just stays there forever, because it's the best place.
Awesome.
Yes. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. Have a great day.